We have some U.S. men's national team news regarding upcoming fixtures. We found out officially what will be the games in the September window. We already know in early June it'll be Turkey and Switzerland, and now we know that in September, the U.S. men's national team will face South Korea at Red Bull Arena, Harrison, New Jersey, and then Japan in Columbus.
Yeah, so it's shaping up in terms of the friendlies, which we know are incredibly important for this team without a qualifying type of process and with the limitation on getting elite teams to play against. So these are good teams. They're not the greatest teams, but I think, they are all World Cup teams, and especially with an expanded World Cup, these are all teams that potentially we could face, potentially even could be in our group. Before the World Cup in 1994, we ended up playing all three of the teams that were eventually picked in our group before in Romania, Switzerland, and Colombia. Colombia multiple times. So, and it was just, there's an art in terms of picking who your opponents are going to be, but it's not inconceivable that any one of these teams that have been to multiple World Cups and will give us good quality games, but again, it's not the elite team, could potentially be in our group.
In that Two Escobars 30 for 30 documentary, I remember Leonel Alvarez saying, we played the United States a lot in that cycle leading up to the 94 World Cup and beat them every time, which made that loss even more shocking.
Exactly.
But I do like these two games. Both South Korea and Japan got to the round of 16 of the last World Cup. South Korea went out to Brazil. Japan lost to Croatia on penalties. I think they're both solid teams. You've heard me talk about Japan. I like a lot of their players. Kubo, Endo, Minamino, Mitoma. Obviously, South Korea have Heung-min Son, Kim, the center back at Bayern Munich, Kang In Lee, midfielder at PSG. So there's some players with pedigree there. So I think those would be pretty good tests for the
It's a nice little bookend to the Gold Cup, which, by the way, you can see on Fox in June with Turkey and Switzerland. Then whatever happens in the Gold Cup, and then you follow it up with Korea and Japan. We come to find out that the U.S. men's national team and U.S. women's national team jerseys, now it should be said that these are the 2025 jerseys, have come out. And without a doubt, from a pure business perspective, you'd be done not to. There will be a 2026 jersey. We don't know ultimately what they are going to look at. As is often the case, we have seen different leakage of these jerseys over the last couple of months, but this is official. When it comes to the men and women, and U.S. Soccer put out a bunch of pictures and players in them and all that. The white one, I'm good with. People keep telling me that it is kind of an homage, and regardless of what they say, when I say they, it would be U.S. Soccer and Nike. We're going to determine with our eyes what it says and how it speaks to us. And so when I see the white one, yeah, I guess there's a little homage to the 94, and we've talked over the last couple of years about how you would possibly do that, given 94 was Adidas, and obviously Nike is with U.S. Soccer now. So I like the white ones. They're not the best white ones that I've seen, but when it comes to the blue ones, and for those that are listening and not watching this, it is blue, a very dark blue. It's going to probably show up on field. And I should be fair. Sometimes jerseys look different on the field, but this one is probably going to show up very dark. And there is a red and blue pinstripe that is involved with it. It is called the Heartbeat Kit. And I made a little, joke about the fact that this team, as we know, has shown very little to no heartbeat lately. And so I just hope that if it's the kit or what's under it, there is some sort of heartbeat starting this summer when it comes to the Gold Cup. I don't like these blue ones. I'll be honest. They don't do anything for me. They don't say America. They don't lean into America. I think that the pinstripe is going to get lost. I think that the blue is going to look black. And I think that they are just another in a long line of forgettable jerseys. But ultimately, the association with success usually enhances. And so maybe at the end of this summer, they do really, really well, and everybody's feeling good about 2026, and they're associated with this color and this pattern. Maybe I'll feel differently. But that's just my instant reaction. I will say that on our group chain, text chain, there were other reactions that were much more positive when it comes to the blue here. Mosse, what did you think?
I didn't have a big issue with it.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way, these Brazil kits leaked that were red.
Oh, jeez.
And it caused such an uproar that the federation had to walk it back and say, no, we're not doing this. Never mind.
Well, I can tell you over the years and having been involved in designs and releases of these, a lot goes into it. And, then people like me and others look at it and maybe we say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, or maybe we crap all over it. And there are incredible men and women that are very talented, that have spent a lot of time and a lot of resources and money coming up with these things. The stories and the PowerPoints and the TED talkiness of the explanations of what they are, they've gotten a little bit much. And so I don't even read those. And I really don't care for the most part. If there's a story, fine, that's great. But ultimately, I want that story to be implicit. I want that story to shine through when I see that player and when I see that team representing the country that I love on the field. And I just don't think that in the past we have done enough of that. I don't think that this is any step or giant step forward to doing that. And so I still hold out hope for 2026. But, these are the fun things that we do.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.